Well, hi there. I am Kathy Crow. This is the Crow Cottage. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a beautiful day here in Springfield, Missouri. It's sunny. It's pretty warm. I don't think you could ask for anything nicer. I'm enjoying it a great deal today. And I'm just finding myself here on Facebook really quick so I can see your comments. And so thank you so much for sharing my video. I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to do something with this Christmas season stamp set. This is the first time I've really had a chance to play with all the pine cones in it. I think I've used the berries on some Christmas card, but I've been drooling over this set for a while because I've seen a lot of people do some beautiful things with these pine cones. So it was fun to find something to make with that today. And then the only thing that I am going to use that's a retired thing, I think, is the little sentiment from this stamp set. If you have Autumn Goodness, you are in luck. This was one of our best ones, I think. And I was very sad that they retired it so quickly, but they always do. So like always, you know, things go fast. If it's good, you want to get in there and get things right away. And that's one of the reasons you want to join our team, so that you can get in to order early and get your discount. Now, don't join me for a couple of months. If you're planning to do it, if you're wanting to join any team, then, you know, I would love to have you, but you'll want to wait until January because there's going to be a better deal then. Anyhow, today I think I have everything. I'm going to try putting the camera down and we will see what happens, because every time, now my chimes are going to chime because I still haven't found a place to put all of our wind chimes in our house. We are in a new house. Oops, my phone didn't like that. I have to wait, pause, try it again. It's just gotten super sensitive. I don't know if it's because you know, it's just getting older or what, but it has. It's gotten really super sensitive. Okay, so I do need to find something else to do with these chimes because that kind of drives me crazy. So I can imagine how it is for everyone else. All right, so hopefully that's somewhat oriented. We will figure it out as we go. Now I can't even see my little sign. I knew when I wrote this out with gel pens that wasn't going to work. And I think I had to take this thing down last week too, this chime. I think I took time to do this again last week. So, you know, anyway, maybe that'll work better over there. I'm going to dingle it, dingle, you know, as we go. I know that's going to be what's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about that. I've got to figure out where to put our chimes. We have a whole bunch. Our neighbors in our old house didn't mind that sort of thing. At least they never said that they did. I don't know if they did or not, but they never said that they did. So I have a bunch. I love them. I am a chime person, apparently. So when I was a kid, do you remember bell choirs? I was part of a bell choir, and I loved that. That was so fun. I could not believe that went out of style. And my kids really liked the steel band stuff that schools went to instead, but I still am partial to the bell thing. All right, so I'll put that over there. That just lists what we've got going today. I am not planning. I don't know if I'm going to get to these little acorn trinkets. They would be kind of cute on this card, even though it is a pine cone, but it still would be kind of cute. So I put a couple out because those are actually on our clearance rack right now. So if you haven't got them, you might want to. They're very cute. All right, so today, oh, hi, Linda. It's nice to see you. And yes, Linda, you are a chime person too. It's always nice to know there's somebody else in the audience that doesn't mind my chimes, because I really like them too. I mean, it's like, seriously, I remember one of the places that we, I think it was a summer school. I did summer school. I was a paraeducator. So I did summer school one year. No, I guess I did it 2 years. And of course, in those days, the kids that were doing summer school were the kids who had not done well in school that year and were having to take it. And they were, I want to say higher middle school. And there was, so it was already, you know, an interesting day every day for sure. Thankfully, I was working for really good teachers, so it was fine. But anyway, they, now I am just going to cut this white cardstock in half Actually, maybe I don't even want to cut it in half because I want to play. I'm going to play with this stamp set so you can see. I'm going to use, let me tell you really quick, I'm going to use cinnamon cider. I don't think I'm going to use Just Jade. I was going to, and then I changed my mind. Pumpkin pie. I'm trying to get some fall colors going. There's Mango Melody. This is Pale Papaya, Calypso Coral, and then my browns are cinnamon cider, early espresso, and basic gray is how we're going to get our shading in our pine cones. And this set is so nice that you do not have to color. You get a really nice effect without coloring. In fact, when I was playing around, just so you can kind of see some of my doodlings, I was trying to decide what the color combinations I wanted to do because I was thinking I could do some orange berries. It just didn't work out. I wasn't going to have room on the card anyway. But this is cinnamon cider only, you know, just a stamped off version with its regular stamped version on top. And that works good. I just didn't care for it quite as much as what we're going to do. This is our Calypso Coral, just solid. And I think this is Calypso Coral actually on real red. And anyway, so that's just what these color. These are my scraps that I'm throwing down because I'm not going to use those. But anyhow, I think you'll like the card that we're going to do today. It's cute. So anyhow, during that my paraeducator thing, we had a church like right next door that had a whole bunch of, well, they had a big bell tower and they had a nice bell, you know, an organ that did the bells, of course, and so they would play. I know they played once in a while, not often. One day when we were out there in the schoolyard, and the chimes, apparently that was early enough. The city hadn't shut it down yet. I was so disgusted when they did because I knew that it chimed, but we didn't live close enough that I heard it. And every noontime they did a hymn, and then they chimed the hour, and it was beautiful. But one of the teachers, we were going out in the parking lot, said, "Oh, I hate those chimes." I was like, in my head, I was thinking, "Oh, brother, you are one sick puppy." All right, so anyhow, I'm going to just use cinnamon cider, and I'm going to just do a full strength one here with that color, and I'm going to do 3 just in case I screw one up and I have to use a different one. There's confidence for you, huh? Now, I will do another one just so you can see this beautiful, oh, isn't that just fabulous? Now, if you did like crumb cake stamped off or something in there, very nice. I'm just loving this. This is so pretty. Now, I'm going to take the other one because it does come with these 2 impressions for one cone. This is the bottom one, and this is the layer on top. So the layer on top, when you have these 2 or 3 or even 4-step, I think maybe we even have a 5-step stamp. You know, it gives you that many. This is the number 2, which is this one. This is number 1. This is number 2. Sometimes it goes on. You always want to go from dark to light. I mean, no, scratch, reverse. You always want to go from light to dark. All right, and there you go. They got it right. So I am not going to want to do cinnamon cider, you know, solid again here, obviously. That's pretty dark, but I didn't really like my other version very well, so I'm doing early espresso on here. Now, basic gray worked really well too. That's why it's out, and I might use it because my early espresso, I inked it. I inked it thoroughly, but it's more inky here than here, and so I wasn't always getting a great impression with my early espresso. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's do this one first because I'm probably going to smudge. So we'll start on the inside and go out so I don't smudge all over the place. All right, there's that one. You know, I got some white in there. I don't really want that, so I'm glad I stamped enough of these. We'll see what else happens here. Let's try not to have that white. Duh, still getting it. Oh, well. This might be the way it is today. Let's try up a little bit higher. see what happens. Not really much. So I'm going to do it again and see what I get. Yeah, I don't know why my impression is so much clearer this time than it was. I'm kind of going off the pine cone now, just in desperation. It's going to be good enough. Nah, it's not, because I don't really want that. So let's go ahead and do it. We'll do this stamp first. You can do it this way. It's not like you have to do it the other order. It's just generally the other order works better, but today it's definitely not. So we'll do this. I got an abundance of pine cones, so I'll have plenty to use on other cards, because the white would be fine if I wanted snow on it, but I don't, because this is going to be a autumn, I guess I should use the word an autumn card, not a wintry one, because this one is definitely a winter stamp set generally with its little fur boughs, but I wanted to do it different. So we'll get the big one out. We'll try that again and see if I get anything better. And if I don't, we're just going to live with it. There went that chime. Pretty nice, huh? I think so. Obviously not the whole world does. So anyhow, in defense of the teacher who said that, they're perfectly nice people. I don't really know what kind of a hang-up they had with chimes. Maybe they had to listen to it every day at just a time that they were trying to instruct the class, and maybe that was actually at an alternative school. So, that could be problematic, I suppose, if you were having chimes happening, big bell tower concert, even though it would be only probably at most 5 minutes still. Might be problematic, might be troublesome. Okay, now the other thing I want to do with this is I'm going to cut those out with dies, but I'm not going to do that yet. In fact, I might not even have to, because I kind of have this card already done partially on the side. But I did want to show you how I did those pine cones. And isn't that gorgeous? And if you wanted to, you could take our white... Do we still have our white puff paint, Linda? I know we had white puff paint. That would work, but you don't even need puff paint. I just happen to like puff paint. You could put a little bit of white, whatever, even glitter you could put on the edges of your pine cone. Give it a little raised effect for the snow on it. Those are going to be really nice for Christmas. I'm going to be using those, I suspect. All right, on a Christmas card, you bet. Definitely on a Christmas card. All right, I am going to show you what's coming next. That's why we have this. So we need to do our little leaves. Look at your leaves. Ooh, we've got 2 steps for this one. This one not, and this one not either. This is the only one with this 2-step that I believe. I don't think Linda, does this match this? It kind of looks like it almost would, but it doesn't. I can see that it really doesn't, but it sure looks like it's close. Now you could get a really nice layered effect with it, but I'm not going to do that. I want this to stay nice and clean, just so that you can see what color combinations I'm using. When you see other people with doing color combinations, it just saves you some time and using up supplies and just effort to see, you see, oh yeah, I like that one, or no, I don't like that one so much. I think the combination I really ended up preferring on this was Mango Melody first. So we'll do Mango Melody for the very solid part of this leaf. And this stamp pad's having kind of the same issue where it's not always inking up quite properly for me. So there's that. All on its own. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. So we'll do a couple of those. And then we will take the second generation one. It's a little bit smaller, so I'll just put it on this smaller block so I can see. And I am going to use Pale Papaya. This is one of my favorite ones in our new colors. I love Pale Papaya. It is so pretty. It's very pale, but it's pretty. I don't know. On yellow, it didn't really work so much. So since I flubbed this one, I'm going to show you how this looks, because actually you think, in looking at this, you think, oh, that's going to be a nice orangey color, isn't it? Well, I wish it didn't end up quite being that so much. So I'm going to need to get my head in here, because I got to see where the positioning is. For some reason, I'm not getting it. Am I getting the right leaf on here? I think so. Huh. For some reason, it's just not working for me. Well, we're going for it anyway. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Do I have the wrong leaf or what? Anyway, you can see it is orangey. It's just not quite right. I think I'm just misplacing it. It's got to go higher. Maybe that's it. Something's wrong here. Let me try it on this one because I'm not sure what I'm doing, but something is amiss. There. Why are you off? You were fine before, and you're clearly off. Let me look at my other ones that I've got going here that I've already done. Now this one is pumpkin pie on that Mango Melody. Why are those exactly right in this one? Now, I don't think I'm not using the right stamp set or something here. Stamp. What's going on here? Let me look here. I took them all off and put them on. These are the only ones available, so why am I having so much trouble? Ah, because I was using the wrong one. That would explain it. This one does not have a match. I knew there was something amiss. Thankfully, it was that. That is so funny. You know, some of these stamps are hard to... I wish there was a way for them to, without, you know, marring it and making it... You don't want a #1 impression on your thing anywhere. So they can't really number it per se. But heavens, it would help me tremendously. Sometimes I take hours, it seems like, but it's actually probably only about 15 minutes to try to figure out one stamp when they have like 5. If it's a 5-step thing, it can take a long time. So we'll try that again. Here's the Mango Melody. Oh my goodness. I'm just so glad I finally figured it out. And then this is the actual other stamp that goes on here. And yes, that one lines up much better. I was wondering why I was having such a hard time. I can't see well, but good grief. Usually I can see a bit better than that. It is off a little, but you can see there's just hardly any difference. Now, it is very nice, though. It's, you know, not much. I decided I kind of like Calypso Coral on here. We're going to do the same one, but I'm going to do a stamped off Calypso Coral with this so that you can see. Here, let's do one of the messed up ones with a solid Calypso Coral. See how strong that is? You do not want that. So that's just one stamped off one, and that's #2. Now, if it was right on the leaves, it would have been perfect. Since it's kind of, you know, blotchy anyway, I'm not sad that that's bad, and I'm going to need to be more careful. That is the problem with my ink pad. It is not the stamp. Okay. Oh, you don't have this stamp set, Linda. You got to get this one. This is a really good one. All right, so Mango Melody. Here we go. Try it again. We'll do 2 because I do want to at least a couple of these. Maybe I better do a 3rd one because even if I decide to change the color up, it's going to be fine. All right. Try it again. This time we will just go with our Calypso Coral. We're not going to mess around with the pale papaya. I'm going to do that one with something else. I'm not going to do that. Let me get rid of my Mango Melody too because that one is done for now. Let's put this on the side so I can put this right up here, and I'm going to want to stamp it off, so we'll stamp it off on here where I've already messed one up. And you can see the ink's really dark on that one side, huh? So it's gonna have some trouble there, but oh well. There we go. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Let's try to get one more as perfect as that one. Let's just try. This one's sort of messed up on this edge, but that one is too. So my ink pads, I really haven't inked up some of them for a while. Now you can see, look at the difference on this. See how that's blotchy right there? Can you tell from where you are? Let me put this down here so you can see it a little bit better. See how smooth and nice that is, actually. It's a little blotchy there, but not too bad. But here you're getting some distinctive little you know, pieces of like the ink's just sticking there so much more. That is an ink pad problem. Now, if I wanted my pad to be like perfectly perfect, and I was very, very concerned about that, what you can do is you can take your bone folder, you can clean it off, and then re-ink it. But I am not going to waste my ink. And I can definitely see a little tiny piece of something. So sometimes stuff gets on your ink pad, and that will do it too. It's not just the ink pad's fault. But I am having an issue with some of the ink pads, you know, doing this. And I've just sort of given up on messing with it. I don't care. I'm going to just make it work anyway. I'm not going to worry about that too much. You know, some people are more perfectionist than I am. Now, that looks like that's going to be a much better impression. On these photopolymer stamps, you can actually see whether it's going to work out. Now, if I'm a liar and this turns out badly, that does sometimes happen. All right. Oh, I forgot. That would have been perfect if I'd remembered to stamp off, but I didn't. So we're going to solve that problem just by taking this one off. Now we'll get rid of that one. And where did I put? Oh, there you are. We will use this one with Calypso Coral, and we'll use a stamped off version of it right over on top of our Mango Melody. There you go. Now, that was unintentional. Here, you can see I didn't quite press evenly on my block, so I missed this part of that image. And I saw that when I did it, but I didn't care because I knew it was going to do something interesting here, and it did. So sometimes, you know, it's just better to go with what you get, and don't worry about it too much. But let's do a stamped off version here. Now, that didn't turn out great, so we'll do that and then do that. Very nice. But I'm going to do another one because I actually think I'll do a couple of these. This is, again, Calypso Coral. And I'm having an issue here. I don't know. I'm getting older. I don't press as hard as I used to. My pressure is not as even as it used to. If you're having an issue like that, you might want to make sure you use your Stamparatus all the time. That actually does help quite a bit. With your Stamparatus, you can push down with both hands. It's just a little bit more cumbersome in these videos to use, so that's why I don't tend to do it as much. Now with Calypso Coral, I want to layer on this pale papaya, and partly it's not just because I really like the color that I'm going to get with this. So I'm going to use the whole solid one with that. We'll put that right back on there. But my pad is new, and it's really, it's going to even out any little blemishes that I have on my leaf. So it's making it just a little bit more orange, and I just like that it's going to give that a little more smooth texture. I'm going to leave that one. I want another color, so that's going to be fine. All right, now I'm not quite done because I want to do one other combination. This time I'm going to use pumpkin pie. This is their more traditional autumn color, so I wanted to get that in here. So we're going to use our pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie, you are really old. You've got a linen pad here, and I kind of prefer those. They actually don't stamp up as easily, but when they get it right, it's just when you get it right, it's a better impression, I think. Now see, I'm still having issues here. This actually might be a stamp problem. Sometimes you get a defective stamp. Now if you do get a defective stamp and it bugs you, then you can get another one. But it's possible that this is intentional, and you can fix that. Since our overlay stamp that's going on top, this little one does not touch that edge. If you don't like all those little micro dots, you can take a blending pen and color it in. And that's another reason I just don't worry about this stuff. It's, you know, you get what you get. You don't have a fit, right? Hi, Jewel. You flew into Springfield yesterday, and you didn't call me? Oh, my goodness. Did you go down to Arkansas You lucky duck, because it has been beautiful. This was a perfect time for you to visit. I bet you just loved seeing all of the trees. Nice. All right, I'm going to stamp off that. That is cinnamon cider. And we're going to do it on this darker one just to see what happens, because I kind of forget. Not really dark enough, is it? So we're going to go full blown here with cinnamon cider. I'm going to try to match it better to the leaf than that last one. Okay, there we go. So now this is exactly kind of what I wanted. So let's try another one. Since that one's sort of messed up, let's try this one. We have had unseasonably warm and beautiful weather. It's been so nice. When Jeff and I went to the Christmas tree lighting this last weekend, oh, we had a blast. I was all bundled up. Wore my long johns, my 3 layers of shirts and a coat and my scarf and my mittens. I was bound after that game experience, a football game where I was freezing and we had to leave before the most exciting part of the game. I made sure I was bundled in. I was so glad. I did get a little warm in the coffee shop while we were waiting, and I took off my coat and all, but I was comfortable. It was great. We had a blast. It was so much fun. Back in the Tri-Cities, we had, Christmas tree lighting was actually, for a tiny city, more elaborate than our Springfield one, because the event itself was not as elaborate in Richland, not even close. It was pretty much a slapdash thing that they just threw together seemingly at the last minute. But the lights on the tree were nicer and better, and they were they have like a whole little Christmas village that they've developed over the course of a few years that they've got, lights all on. So it's actually the light show itself is nicer, but we really enjoyed the Springfield one because frankly, there's just some really nice things about it, and we got to hear some actual hymns. We heard "O Holy Night" done by some famous opera singer. I don't know, maybe he's not even famous, but it was really, really good. I'm going to just stick with these leaves. They're pretty nice, and I would, if I was going to, I would be using these dies to cut out all of my little pine cones and all of these little leaves, and I am going to use those at some point in the future, but so that I am not boring you too much, I am not going to do that right now. I'm going to do that for another card. And instead, I'm going to get out all of my little supplies that I have out here on the side to show you what we're going to do next. Now, let me move some of my ink pads because I'm not going to use all of those. All right, getting some space going here. Now, in the catalog, you have got the option of finding and buying some, where is it? It's Bloom Where You're Planted DSP. Now there's a lot of plants and I've really liked it, but today I'm using this side because it's just going perfectly with this card, okay? And I'm gonna take the pine cone theme and I'm gonna stamp right out. So I cut this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 is what that is. And that's just from this. And then I also, this card is going to also have a little belly band. So I took a, let's see how big this is. I suspect it's 1/2 of an inch. It's actually 3/4 of an inch. So this is a 3/4 inch from this long 12-inch side. I just trimmed that off. And then the other thing, oh boy, this is what I'm excited. You are? Oh, Jewel, I hope you find some spot near me. That would be fun. And then you could join my team. I know you're probably already settled and ensconced in one, but just in case you're interested, it would be fun. All right, now, also in the catalog, there is this, it's called Brushed Metallic, oh, I've got it right here, Brushed Metallic Cardstock. And I bought this early in the year, not expecting to be wowed. But when I got it, I just thought, wow, I love it. Now, it's pretty subtle. I don't know if you can really see the brush strokes, but this is the gold sheet. So there's 2 things I loved about this cardstock that's different than our other metallic cardstocks that we've had. And the brushed effect gives it texture, even though it's not textured at all. You could add texture to it, but I think it would detract, actually, from your brush stroke. So this is the gold one. The other thing I really love about it is that you get three, is it three? Yes, 3 colors of cardstock in it. And I've used a bunch of this. This is the copper one. And I don't know if you can see those brush strokes. I'll bet you can't. I bet it's really hard to see because of my lighting and all. But if you go, actually this photographed well in the catalog. I just didn't expect it to be as nice as it turned out to be. And because frankly, a lot of times those photos they're not touched up, but they, that I know of, but they rarely are touched up to make them look better. If they are touched up, it seems like they're touched up to make them worse, because half the time I get it and think, oh, that's actually a lot better than I expected it to be. And that's the case with this. But that is, except for this one, that's never happened with the metallic before. The metallic always comes and it's exactly as expected, and I'm not disappointed with it. It's a nice weight. Compared to some of the other things that you get, it's a very nice weight, and I'm talking about in the other craft stores. Sometimes their weight is just not quite right. It's too heavy or something, or too thin. Now, before you run it through your die machine, cut off just the portion you need, because when it goes through your die machine, it is going to get, you know, impressed, and you don't really need to ruin all of your gold. So I took our Encircled with Beauty, is that what it is? It's called, yes, Encircled in Beauty Dies. Oh boy, this is so good because I missed our Doily Dies. And I have Doily Dies and I am using them, but other people would like to too. So I was really hoping one day to have some Doily Dies again, and these are Doily Dies. Now, you do have to kind of monkey with them to get exactly the one you want. Like this one is an actual doily, but it does cut out the circle inside. So you would need, this one is a real doily. This is the one I did for this one, and it cut out really easy. It's a nice one. I really like that. Now that's a bit too small to go over that one. Where do I keep this one? It's supposed to be just loose in there. This is a doily too, but it's teeny tiny. This one is a doily also, but it's intricacy makes it a little more problematic for me to cut out. It would be fine for other people, but if you're doing a whole lot of cards, sometimes these ones, you know, it gets a little time consuming. At first, when you get them, they always come out clean and easy peasy. It's always sweet, and you think, oh good, this is the greatest one ever. But then after the 50th card that you've got from that die, it's starting to not be as sharp, and it doesn't cut as well. And so anyhow, it's another reason it's kind of nice to get a new doily die set. So this I'm so happy to have. I don't know if I really like it better than the old doily set. What do you think, Jewel? But I do really love it. So we're going to use that. And that Plentiful Plants DSP is what I'm using for this. And I just cut that out of that side. And the belly band. And now, this is what I wanted to do. I did the same technique as I did on the other card, but I did it right on top of our DSP. All right, so that we can get this to all look good together. So let's just do that really quick again, because I might as well do 2 cards rather than just one. All right. And then you can see what's going on here, how I did that. Not that it matters, because I bet you already know how to do it. But just in case you want to see somebody else do it, I can be happy to do it. Oh, your piercing mat under your... Oh, piercing mat. Yeah. Well, Jewel, I do have that, and and that does help a great deal, doesn't it? It does. It's still... with some of those other ones. Again, by the time you've punched... Oh, this is way too big. I don't want this big one. I want the smaller... pine cone, not this big giant one. It's just the numbers of times you roll it through. It does have issues after you've used it a lot. That's why you kind of want to not, if you can avoid it. You do not want to be buying a lot of used dies. Now the stamps have the same issue of getting older and not giving as good of an impression depending on how many times the previous owner used it. A lot of the ones that you see on eBay and whatnot, those are demonstrator ones that they are selling, and so the chances are good that it's been used to death in classes, and so you can buy them, but it is a risk. You never know what kind of condition you're actually getting. It'll say, you know, if it's in good condition or moderate or whatever, but that's sort of a nebulous, if that's the word, you know, it's that's an objective statement. Some people might think that it is not, and some might think that it is like new. So it's a risk. I've done it. I've been very happy with almost every purchase I've made, but there was a Christmas set I got years ago. It's probably one of the first ones I got off of eBay, in fact. So this was a long time ago. I was still working, probably 15 years ago. I was happy to find the stamp set. My goodness, somebody had stolen one important piece from that set when I had it at school, and that's why I needed it. And so, and of course it had retired by the time that had happened, so I was happy to get it. But I was glad that I still had the original set on my own, because the stamp that had been used the most was a Santa. And his impression in my new secondhand stamp set was not good. So it can happen, but again, if you're not too worried about it, it's a way to get a stamp set that you might have missed earlier on when it was out. 7 months, Jewel, and you're going to be free as a bird. Pretty nice deal. Now, Jeff is retired, because I know he thought he was going to do it less, but they call him all the time. You know, it's like they're desperate. All right, now, I did cut this out from that gold. I am only going to use half of it, but I don't want to. I want to put it on a piece of Calypso Coral, since that's the color that I used for most of those leaves. So, where is my glue? I still have been adjusting things here in the Crow Cottage, so I still sometimes cannot find what I am looking for. All right, so we'll put a little bit of glue on here. Have you got plans to go look at Christmas lights and such? Like, I have been surprised so many people have their lights up here already. That is wonderful. A lot of people do back in the Tri-Cities too. In fact, I think they might even have them up earlier, because here it seems like we can really enjoy fall a bit more. Back in the Tri-Cities, the wind blows all the leaves off right away, and it feels like, we're done with it. I know Thanksgiving's not here yet, but we're ready to move on to Christmas because all of our leaves are down. But here, it is still just fabulous. Now this weekend, and especially right now when I'm looking out the window, I only see brown dead leaves out there right now. So I think we're finally finishing. In our yard, though, there's one tree that's just still doing great. Our oak tree, it was really late to go. Now, I think instead of cutting it first, I better stick this on and then cut it. If I wanted to get 2 cards from this one thing, I could, and just do half of it, or about half of it, and that actually would look good too. Maybe I will do that. I could do it with a dimensional, but remember, I'm going to put my belly band on there, so I don't really want to have it too high. So since I'm not sure how far I'm going over, I'm not going to go all the way over half with that glue, just in case. So Jeff and I are going to have, I've got our pumpkin and our apple pie from Costco, and we're going to go out and eat. But at the time I was buying some stuff, I just decided, I don't know, because I can't count on that. In the Tri-Cities, nobody was open, and I didn't want us to be sitting here with our peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is, I think, what we did almost on one Thanksgiving, that I hadn't gone to the store and we had almost nothing to really special. It's not like we need the extra food, so it's not a tragedy or anything, but it was, I just wanted to make sure that did not happen again. So I can use this on another card. In fact, I've got this one already, and I probably will just do it on this one, right? All right, so that's that. And then we can put on our belly band because, oh, let's put this on a card base before I get going too far on that. All right, so we're just doing a standard card base, but I'm just trying to adjust all of my things here. Kind of slow today. I'm just not moving fast at all. You did, Jewel. I think a whole bunch of people end up doing that. And it's not that big a deal. You know, you've had so many. Right now, for some reason, my stomach has been deciding, my upper GI system has decided to give me grief occasionally. Not every day, it's just iffy. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm allergic to. Because obviously, well, I shouldn't say allergic. I've obviously developed some kind of very, very mild food sensitivity. I knew it was coming one day. Practically all of my friends have developed that as you get older. You know, I guess that's just common. This is very vanilla or something like, and it's a heavier cardstock for the base. All right, so we're gonna glue this on here before I do my belly band. Make sure it's the right size. And so anyhow, that's the other thing, but I don't want poor Jeff to suffer. His food, his digestive system has been really bad at various times of his life. But right now he's going through a golden period of nothing bothering it. So when I told him, I think I've developed a sensitivity to nuts, he was like, oh, all right, I guess that just means there's more nuts for me. Like, yeah, it does, because I am not going to not eat nuts, because it's such a mild case that I can have one nibble and I probably would be okay. I'd only have a tiny bit of agony here and there, so I'm not giving this stuff up. It's not that bad. It's problematic, but it's so far doable. Now, I don't know if that's going to continue. So here's our piece of 12-inch belly band going here. So let's just wrap this around. It's plenty long. Because it's foil, you know, you might want to be a little more careful before you do all that so that you don't waste it. But I have so much foil left over that from years past that I think I'm going to be fine. So I'm going to just go ahead and glue. That's a big overlay piece. Maybe let's center it a bit anyway, okay? Now, don't do too much there, Kathy. All right, there we go. All right, so we'll glue that. And I do have my pies, because that's the most important thing to me. You know what I like. I'm a sweet tooth person, that's for sure. I don't have any chocolate, but I'm not sure chocolate's going well on my stomach. And I do have some Lindt chocolates in there still from needing to buy them for giving. And yeah, so I do have a little bit of chocolate in there if I'm desperate for chocolate. And chocolate sort of just lives in our house all the time. I'm not ever going to not have... Chocolate doesn't ever upset my stomach. I suppose if I ate too much of it, it would, but... All right, now that's the gold one. Now we want this same DSP laid over here. I could have done it all in one piece, but oh well, I didn't. So let's match up the edges anyhow. Okay, there we go, and there. Now, if I wanted to, I suppose, if I, had a decorative edge here that I wanted to show, that was, sometimes you do these with the same coordinating DSP, like the opposite side here. If you did that, you could do like a nice little accordion fold and then show your other part. But we're not going to do that because obviously that's not what I'm doing. Let's match it here. All right, now I'm just doing this to try to get my DSP cut the length that I want it. And then I'm going to use, I might have to use tape. I don't want to smear any glue on my foil. That happens sometimes. So I'm going to try to avoid that. All right, so we're going to have to go like, oh, I need to make that longer so I can get it where I want it. Right there. I want it with the, right with the other cut piece right there, or close. All right, there we go. All right, well, I'm going to risk it because it's faster. And tape I have a hard time with, so we'll just do a thin little strip here in the center. And then we'll do the ends of our DSP. Oops, do this way. Oh, I don't know what I did. I'm not sure if that was that way or that way. We'll do it this way. I'll glue the ends here in a minute. Let me just get this on. Trying to get it to have a fairly even border on both sides. All right, there we go. Now that's pretty good. My foil kind of got off a little there as far as its evenness goes, but it's close. All right, there we go. You know, the DSP has a crumb cake as its background, and not our cinnamon cider. So that is one reason I decided I better put some pine cones on it to make it match up better, because cinnamon cider matched this, the metallic brushed copper better. So anyhow. All right, so there's the little belly band. So cute. Put you up a little higher, like not right in the middle, but close. Okay, now I can get my dimensionals out. Where are you? I think I moved you closer to me so that I could actually get to you. There's the minis. All right, now I did take this. Let me just show you what I did. I took this DSP, and I just used our little postage stamp. That's why I have it on my list. Oh, do I? I don't. I thought I did, but anyhow. Took little postage stamp die, or punch, I mean. Postage stamp punch, and punched that out. And then I used this everyday label to punch out the gold. Let me grab a little scrap of that. Or actually, it's not gold, it's copper that I'm using here. But when you do, it makes a nice, easy way to do your words. And you could just leave it that size, but I actually wanted to have it show, you know, more of that gold. So I just took this edge, the short edge on the long side. It's pretty easy. You can just slide it right in here. And just make sure it's pretty even. Oops, I don't know if that was quite even enough, but we're gonna just do it anyway. And then you get the right size. And then I stamped the Autumn Goodness Sentiment, Plant Kindness, Harvest Love. Now that's a really good one for today. I know people are really suffering today with the terrible news we all woke up to or heard last night. And so it's a kind thought to be something kind to be thinking about right at the moment. All right, so I'm gonna lay that on there. And oops, glue this sentiment on. And I just stamped it with cinnamon cider to match our copper color. Okay, I don't mind if it comes up a little bit. I mean, the edges aren't laying flat against it. Normally I might be bothered by that, but I'm not so bothered by that right at the moment. Okay, it kind of losing my words a little bit on with the background. So if you want it darker, you should do early espresso. All right, now so here's our leaves. Let me get rid of my extra cardstock. It's laying in here. My scraps. All right, we're almost done. And then we're gonna just stick these on here. So now the thing about a belly band is that when you start layering, if you layer it right on your card, it's tempting to get adhesives or glue on a part that's gonna stick to your card, and you do not want to do that. You want it to stick to your belly band, so not the card. So we'll slide this off. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this on here, but I'm going to just glue it because I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of raised stuff happening here. So let's just try to minimize some of that. Ooh, I could have taken my thread. I've got my metallic, copper metallic ribbon. It comes in a dual pack. So here are the numbers for all of these items. If you want them, there's your numbers right there. You can put them in. But the combo metallic thing is on clearance right now. And so, again, as I said, are these little acorn trinkets. These acorn trinkets are really cute to put on a card, but my goodness, they cause a problem with your postage. You're going to have to use a padded bubble envelope for those. And that's going to raise your postage quite a lot. And that's one reason I haven't used these very much. They're much better for your scrapbooking, you know, sort of thing going on. All right, let's see here. Do I want to... I'm going to figure out how to do my bow at the end. Let's just go ahead and stick on the pine cones. When Jeff was at the park, when we were waiting for the Christmas lighting, one of the ladies came up with a dog, a golden retriever, like a really pretty coppery colored one. It was really nice. And man, Jeff he likes dogs, but usually he's more of a cat person. He just went nuts about that dog. It loved him. It was just nuzzling him and not leaving him alone. He petted it and petted it and petted it. And like kept saying, "Look at this cute dog." And I was like, "I see the dog. He's okay, you know. It's not. He's just okay. I'm not that. I love dogs, but come on, you know. He's okay. He's a dog." And I didn't want hair all. He lifted his mitten after he'd petted it for like 10 minutes. And said, "Oh, look," it was like a mat of hair, dog hair. And I said, "Well, you're going to have quite a lot of fun. I'll just wash it away." I thought, yeah, it'll dog hair in my laundry probably for 2 weeks after you've washed your mittens in our washing machine. He's so funny. All right, before I put the little one on, maybe I should attach some of my leaves. I think the leaves, because of their little skinny stems that are going to have to go on here, I better just use some glue. Just use some glue, not worry about the dimensionals so much. It was a nice dog. When I was at the park about 3 weeks ago, I was looking at the birds and really enjoying them. It was a day, it might have been the day that I took a picture of them flying all over the place. Man, they were just rejoicing, singing their little hearts out. It was so nice. I was really enjoying it. And then this, there were people on the path behind me that walked along here and there, but I'd left the path and I was up near the trees where I could see these birds flying all over the place, really enjoying it. Well, after a few minutes, one of the people that I saw on the path that had a dog, a lady, in fact, as she got closer, I realized she's actually quite young. She got really pretty close to me, which is odd. Most people are just staying on the path, walking. They're there for exercise more than anything else. I know there are people there who love the plants like I do, but not many. Most of them are just there for exercise. And I need to get rid of that stem so I can see my words. Okay. And so I was like, oh, a little surprised when I saw her right there. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. She said, do you mind if my dog comes and says hello to you? Because for some reason, this was a bulldog. It was really cute. For some reason, it just really likes you. I don't understand it, but there it is, this dog. And so I thought, oh, okay, I love dogs. So I bent down and said, okay, here you go. Come on. Come on, boy. He ran over, knocked me down almost because he was so excited, wagging his tail. It was really cute. I have to admit, it warmed my heart. I haven't been greeted so warmly by anything other than anything other than Jeff since we've come to Springfield. Oh, my grandkids are far away, so I don't work in the school anymore, so I don't get all that affection like I used to. So I did enjoy it a great deal. Anyway, as the dog left, I thought, I don't know that dog was really that excited to see me. I think he really wanted to see the birds, and I do think that's what he was just, the owner just, was going to give the dog a little bit more altruistic nature than I think a dog generally has. But anyway, he didn't know me. He did greet me very nicely, and he had a good time, and he got to look at the birds closer up. And I was thinking, as I saw them out of the corner of my eye and wondering, what the heck are you doing? I was just thinking, don't let your dog bark and scare all my birds away that I'm enjoying right at the moment, because they're very cute and fun. All right, there we go. That's pretty nice. Now we've got those all attached to the belly band. It is exactly 3 o'clock. Jeff's going to be here before too long, so I need to speed it up. Put this on here. Isn't that cute? And then you can slide it up wherever you want to. And our ribbon. Let's see how to do the ribbon. This one actually does tie pretty good. Now you could double it up. I usually really like to double them up and do them like that. But I didn't cut quite enough to do that. So let's just go ahead and do a little skinny ribbon. Oh, Linda, you need to go on and see what happened. It was about 30 miles away from Kenosha, Wisconsin. We have friends in Wisconsin. And anyway, thankfully not anywhere near there. Friends, what am I saying? We actually do have a couple of different family members that live there. Wisconsin is beautiful. And we're excited to live closer to it so that we can visit them. Haven't visited them yet. I'm kind of a scaredy cat when it comes to driving. And we're new here, so I'm not really sure yet how quickly fog can roll in, and I am a little concerned about it. I just remember when I was a little kid and we lived in Indiana, fog could really do a number on you when you're on the road if it came in all of a sudden. So this being such a wet place, I'm a little scared because Jeff's not as careful of a driver as I'd like him to be sometimes. That's probably something every wife in the world has said. All right. And I don't drive well at all. It's not like I can do any better. It's like it would be worse with me driving, so we'll stick with what he can do. All right, there's our little bow. So cute. And we'll do a little snip and a little snip. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure that if you go online, you're purchasing through me, unless you are a demonstrator already, and then in that case, you will be purchasing from yourself. But I do appreciate your sharing my videos, and you can sign up for my newsletter. I think I'll put this in a newsletter. Maybe now, I think I missed the last fall one, I think went out. So next week, it's going to have to be Christmas, and I might get this same stamp set out to do Christmas because it's awfully, awfully cute. I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad I got to it today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks, Linda and Jewel. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We are going to have a good time, I'm sure, all by our little lonesome. We probably are not going to go out to eat after all, but I am going to go to the barbecue place and pick up our brisket and turkey, just a little bit, because we can't eat that much. And I guess I'm gonna have to buy gravy because I'm not making a turkey. You gotta have good gravy, and because that's what Jeff said he wanted. He didn't care what else we had, but he wanted pie, the lumpy mashed potatoes that we like, and the turkey and gravy. And okay, that's great, because lumpy potato, mashed potatoes, that's easy and cheap to make. I can do that. I'm not buying that. I'm not going to a restaurant and paying for what they will do with something like that. But there are some nice restaurants that have, really good food, like gourmet type food that we could have done if we'd gotten reservations early, but we didn't, and that's okay. I don't really like to go out on Thanksgiving anyway. I mean, it's nice to not cook, but I do like to go out when we have company, just because it's so much cleanup. And I'd like to just enjoy the company and not be doing all that work. So we do eat out. If anybody joins us for a future Thanksgiving, we will be eating out. And then I can enjoy you. All right, have a wonderful week, as I said. Stay tuned. A new catalog is in the future soon. And again, if you want to be able to order things and get them early, think about joining my team. Since this is me speaking, I can say join my team. All right, bye-bye.